Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the studentloanjustice.org live stream. My name is Alan Collins, founder of studentloanjustice.org. Happy Sunday night, everybody. It's Sunday, November 22nd. Welcome if you're new to the group, by the way. We are growing so quickly right now, and there couldn't be a better time for it. So we're thrilled that you're here. If you have any questions or comments, by all means, throw them up as we go forward on this live stream. If you're watching us on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, sorry about that. But come to Facebook in the early evening, usually around 6 or 7 p.m. Eastern Time, facebook.com/groups/SLJ group. A couple of brief announcements. Number one, we did a great town hall on Friday with Matt Taibbi, Catherine Austin Fitz, Tom Borgers. Catherine's a former board member of Sally Mae, believe it or not, and she's come to the good side. Tom is the lead chief investigator of the subprime home mortgage crisis for, I believe it was the U.S. Senate, may have been some other. It was for the federal government, put it that way. So it was a very strong town hall. Now, that town hall was all for the purpose of promoting our film. So if you look up or look over or down, you'll see a link to the YouTube of the town hall. And you can hopefully, I think, see where to donate to support that film. You know, Mike Camoin, filmmaker in New York, he's been working very hard on this film for no money at all, make no mistake, for the past 3.5 years. And I had no idea how expensive it is to make a film, but it's in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. So if you can pitch in a couple of bucks to support this film, it is absolutely critical. But watch the town hall, and I think you'll get an idea for the scope and the scale and the importance of this film. Second announcement. I'm glad to announce we were featured not only in Newsweek last week. I think we're going to be featured at the Business Insider like today. But yesterday we were featured on a local news program in Virginia. Very good segment, and my only point there is that we can be doing local news stories about our petition to cancel student loans by executive order. We can be doing that all day long. I've got this super awesome banner behind me. We can do Zoom. We've got obviously internet. So you're calling local news stations and telling them to report on our petition is particularly important at this time. So do that. It really helps. You know, I know so many of us feel helpless and conquered and decimated and demoralized, but you know, there are real actions that you can take right now as we speak that are just so important for winning this battle. And make no mistake, folks, we're not going to settle for the up to $50,000 in loan cancellation nonsense that we're seeing in the media right now. This is a catastrophically failed lending system, and all federally owned student loans must be canceled, and bankruptcy protections must be returned to the loans that the president cannot cancel directly by executive order. So it's time for this, folks, and I just can't tell you how important that you are. You know, that piece in Virginia would have never happened but for the efforts of a guy, John Denisi, who called whatever the call letters of the station was, and motivated them to do the story. So, you know, we've got 16,000 people on our Facebook group. We've got 831,000 people on our petition. We're getting up to close to 1 million people, folks, and that gives us a very large muscle to flex. But it only counts when everybody out there owns this problem and does just the little bit of effort necessary to spread the word about the petition, to pitch in for the film. You know, it's the little things. And, you know, those things are not little, by the way. You know, getting on a regional news broadcast reaches hundreds of thousands or even millions of people. And that is no small feat. So I'm just telling you guys, if you sit back and you think that the people you see on the internet or on the TV, the people claiming to be fighting for students, well, I've got some news for you guys. We've been doing this for 15 years, and the groups claiming to be fighting for students, they're not really doing that. If they actually solved the student loan program problem, they would be out of business, and they don't want that. So you can't rely on talking heads, including me, by the way. But I want to solve the problem. I can't wait to put this banner in a museum or a garbage can, because I have student loans, and we are a completely grassroots group, and we absolutely need to solve this problem sooner rather than later. But it starts with us, guys. The one thing we've learned over the past 15 years is that real effort by real people who share our very deep-seated passion and anger and hatred, I would say as well, for what has become a catastrophically failed weaponized lending system. That is what is needed. So, and I don't know what to tell you guys, it only takes one person to get one news station, local or even national. I mean, heck, call 60 Minutes if you want. We're featured top story on 60 Minutes like 15 years ago. But, it only takes one person to write the right email, talk to the right person, and get this going. Because, folks, if we rely on, and the politicians as well, if we rely on the politicians to solve this problem for us, we're not going to get very far. I'm thrilled that we were the first group to publicly call for loan cancellation by executive order, which is very important. Loan cancellation by Congress is just a fool's errand. It's just doomed to fail. Only by executive order are the loans actually going to be canceled. And we're thrilled that Chuck Schumer and Elizabeth Warren have adopted or appropriated the concept of canceling student loans by executive order. But guys, up to $50,000 could mean anything. And I am here to tell you that if the Department of Education has its way, and it will under this Schumer-Warren plan, it will mean nothing. And we can't do that, guys. Your livelihood is just too important. I don't want to be here even 6 months from now talking about this problem. I want these loans to be gone, hopefully on January 20th. But it's going to take a massive groundswell of support. And so here's the one thing I really wanted to talk about tonight, folks. So we have been kicking ass. I'm just going to say. We've got close to 1 million people on our petition now. We've been featured all over the national media, and hopefully that will continue with your efforts, local media as well. But the knives are coming out on the other side. Make no mistake, this is a multi-trillion-dollar lending system, and there are some very wealthy, entrenched, I'm going to call it the student loan swamp, interests that do not want us to succeed. They're okay with passing legislation where Congress raises $1 trillion in taxes, and they give that $1 trillion to the Department of Education, who pretends to cancel loans, which is pretty much exactly what they've been doing for the past 10 years with public service loan forgiveness. They can tolerate that. But the notion of actually simply wiping the loans away where no money changes hands and they don't get paid, they don't like that at all. So the disguises of the bad guys are coming off as we speak. Our opposition is rattled, to put it mildly. They are very rattled, and they are coming out of the woodwork to suppress, overwhelm, overshadow, otherwise defeat our call. And I don't even want to tell you all the articles. The past 5 days, at least 6 articles have come out. One from the Brookings Institution, by the way, which claims to be a nonpartisan entity, and they've actually done some very meaningful research on this topic in years past. They just published a paper saying, "Oh, don't listen to Chuck Schumer and Elizabeth Warren. Don't listen to them." And So the disguises are coming off of the swamp creatures as we speak. And, this is real, folks. We have got to stand up. We have such a huge muscle to flex, but we've got to flex it. 55 million people in the country who have student loans or are co-signed on them. 44 million of them were never going to be able to repay their loans. And that's before the pandemic. 44 million people is a freaking larger than all the standing armies on Earth combined. 44 million people would fill the Los Angeles Coliseum. I think that's the largest stadium in this country, if I'm not mistaken. 100,000 capacity. 44 million people would fill that stadium a lot of times. What, like 4,400 times or something? Is that right? No, 440 times. I'm just saying, guys, 1 in 5 of all adults have student loans. You know these people. And by the way, of those 1 in 5 people, 80% of them, as I said, are losing sleep over their loans. You know them. You have to find them. I don't know what else I can say to make you ditch your shame and your embarrassment and your social graces to the curb and start actively promoting our petition. I don't know what else I can tell you. But if you don't, we are screwed. And that's just kind of the truth, guys. Our opposition is very strong. They don't have 44 million people. In fact, they don't even have 44,000 people. In fact, they barely even have 4,400 people. But they do have money, and they do have influence, and they do have great sway over the media. So we're going to see all manners of attempts to kill our push. The ace that we have in our hole is the fact that we, me and you and the 44 million other people, we control this lending system. We can delete it by popular unconsent if we have to, and that day may be coming. So please, right now, between now and January 20th, the most important things that I can think of that anybody can be doing right now is calling a news organization. Local is, I prefer local just because it's a little easier to work with and stuff, but national is great too. We've sharpened this blade to a razor's edge. We can talk to any reporters. We can talk to Rush Limbaugh. We can talk to Rachel Maddow. We can talk to the most conservative local station, the most liberal local station. We're good. But only when you set them up will we be able to knock them down. And there's a million things that you can be doing right now tonight to share the petition, to get it in front of the eyeballs who need to see it. If the 44 million people in the country who are losing sleep over their student loans saw our petition, at least half would sign, if not, like, even more. So, come on, guys. Let's make it happen. Thanks again to John for making the Virginia story happen. I would just say go to our petition right after you watch this video, change.org/cancel student loans. And you can Twitter it, you can copy the link to it, you can paste the link to it all over Facebook. There's a million things that you can do, but you've got to pick one or more and actually do them. This is not a watch it happen, hope it happens proposition here. This is a make it happen movement. You, me, are just blades of grass in this grass movement. And the harder each blade of grass works, meaning me and you and Ed and our 50 state chapter groups and our 16,000 Facebook members and our 800,000 plus petition signers, that will tell the tale. So I don't know, guys. I don't know what else to tell you. It's got to start with you. If we do nothing and watch the Washington machine do what the Washington machine does, we're not going to get anything, despite the friendly, kind, soothing words. Do not be placated by the friendly-sounding rhetoric we're seeing. That would be your first and biggest mistake. Do what I do. Do what Ed does. Do what hundreds, in fact, more recently, even probably thousands of people in our group do every day. And spend 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, spreading the link to the petition, calling reporters, calling writers, contacting news organizations, local or national. So I'm pretty excited, guys, but I got to tell you, the battle is just begun. The bad guys, the knives are coming out. Just Google student loans, and especially student loan cancellation, and you'll see those knives everywhere. It's only going to get worse. But we are only going to get stronger when you make that happen. So I can't tell you how important and historic this battle is, but I think I've made my point for tonight, so I will just leave it there at that. But let's make this the best week ever for student loan justice, shall we? Last week was good. Let's make this next week better. You need us. We need you. So good luck, Godspeed, and God bless everybody. And don't forget to check out that YouTube of the film and the town hall and make a donation. Peace.